I made over $31,000 on Friday the 29th of May 2026 on this trade that I'm going to break down for you in this video. And in this month of May, which has been my best month for the year, I made over $200,000. And my students who have the benefit of seeing my trades inside of the VIP community have access to every single one of my trades that I've done in this month of May. So they get to see all of my trades every single day. And they can see that I've made over $200,000. They've watched it live. And not only do I provide them the setups of every single one of my trades, but I also provide for them a video that walks them through my thinking process and the rationale of why I entered into that trade. And they get to see that for each one of my trades. You can see the month of May, every single day here, except for maybe 1 or 2 days in a month, I have traded multiple sessions. And for example, here is Friday's trade that I'm going to walk you through now in this video, where I made over $31,000. And you can also see my execution video. It's posted on my YouTube channel as well, where you can see the actual tape read. Now, one of the things that I've mentioned on my YouTube channel many, many times is that my most favorite time to seek setups is 10 a.m. New York time, and it's the New York session that I trade the most. Now, funny enough, in the month of May, if I go back and show you my trades for this month, most of my trades have been in the Asia session, right? So you look at all these, it's Asia, 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 Asia. All of these have been Asia. This one's New York, a couple of London, but most of the trades, even the one I did on Friday, where I made over $31,000, the setup that I identified was in Asia. You can see here, the entry was in Asia and I added in London, and it continued all the way to my target. Now, I'm going to break this down for you in a moment, but I also want to mention that I'll go into a lot of detail in a new newsletter that I have published. It's a paid newsletter, and it's $47 per month, where I break down one of my trades in detail. And I'm going to break this trade down in much more detail to folks who have access to my newsletter. And they're going to learn why I've entered here on Asia and why I added here in London. And not just why I added, but what I saw to add a larger position size. This became a 8 lot on gold, which is a significant size. And that's how I've made $31,000, and how I knew we were going to go as high as where we did. Okay, why I had this as a target. And you'll see if you look at my execution video, this target was set from the very start of my trade, right? As soon as I entered into the position, I entered this as a target. Now, my students in the VIP community know exactly why I had this target. And if I go to my bias video for Friday the 29th, I'll show you. This is the bias video, and I'll play a snippet of this. And in this video, I've given them the exact target of where I've taken this trade off. Welcome back, folks. Looking at the markets for Friday, 29th of May, 2026. And you can see that I did not trade yesterday on Thursday. And you can also see that I've been short for the entire week. Now, you can see that the market has turned around, okay? And this movement here, 9:30, and there's a 9:45 candle. So we've got our pullback at the right time. And so that would have been a really nice long from the bullish fair value gap at the right time. And we've got plenty of liquidity above the Asia highs there. So I think that today we should continue to look for longs, and I want to see this breaker hold, which is where we are coming into at the moment. So I want to see this bullish fair value gap and this breaker, okay, hold for continuation higher. You can also see here, as we've gone through and pop back down 10:30, we're coming into this breaker, and that's held, and we've continued. So order flow here on this chart we can see is bullish. This was the initial manipulation, okay, down, and you can see this is my last trade where I've closed just down here at the previous daily low, and then we have reversed. But anywhere around in here, I'd be looking for a potential entry to go long, because that coincides with the breaker over here. And so we also have a breaker here. So where we are right now really should hold. Okay, we may get a wick down to there, but I would expect us to hold this breaker. Okay, so where we are now should really hold. Looking for higher prices. Let's look for a target, and I think this here is the cleanest target, right? And yeah, I think that's the cleanest target. So we've come into there. So this is the only rejection block we have not come into. So I'd be targeting somewhere around here. Now we have had a pretty large range day yesterday, so we shouldn't expect too much, right? From a large range day, the market typically doesn't have another large range day. So I wouldn't be expecting too much. This is a good target to aim for, but you want to take your partials and lock in profits at any one of these swing highs, okay? Especially this here, bearish fair value gap, okay? So as we're going up on the left-hand side, you want to look for bearish signatures, and that's the closest one, okay? And then obviously you've got further bearish signatures above, but this is probably where I'd want to look at taking partials, swing high, and bearish signature, and then rejection block, and then obviously the equal highs right there. Okay, pretty clean equal highs. So I think I want to see this level hold, which is in confluence to this breaker. Okay, so I want to see all those levels hold. There's nothing wrong. I don't think this will be the case, but there's nothing wrong if the market does come back down to there. I don't think it will. Okay, I think we will kind of find support around this level, which is what I want to see, and then move up. Okay, now if you look at what's happened here, we have moved up higher, and look at the time down the bottom there, 10:15 a.m. It's in that first 15 minutes of the last hour of the New York session you will find are the best setups. And if you look at my YouTube channel, my videos, I talk about the fact that 10 a.m. is the best time to seek setups. So you've got to know the directional bias. And I also teach that on my public YouTube channel. Okay. Now, if you look at this pullback, we are coming to a very tiny bullish fair value gap between this high and this low. A tiny little fair value gap there. You can see the body candles are respecting that fair value gap. And we are also coming to this inversion fair value gap on the left. Now that gives you a very precise entry with a stop at the low of the session for a long. Okay. And that's also respecting, if you look at that entry, it's also respecting the bullish breaker, right? Here, these two up candles are our bullish breaker, and these three down candles, right, going down, that is our bullish order block. So there's plenty of signatures right there inside of New York that are telling us, giving us indication that we are going to reprice higher. Now the bias was already established, okay, earlier in the session, and I had already communicated that to those students in VIP. So I was already looking for longs, okay? Now I break this trade down in much more detail and provide some real nuggets, right, in my newsletter that I'm going to be publishing over the weekend. And it is worth you, even if you just subscribe to get this breakdown, to subscribe and pay your $47, because the nuggets in this breakdown that I'm going to be publishing over the weekend is going to reveal some secrets that are repeating, that you want to learn about, okay? That will teach you why I entered here and why, what I saw for me to add in and scale into this position, right? I started off with a 3 lot, and normally I'd add an extra 2 lot, and my typical size is a 5 lot, and you'll see that on my YouTube channels in all of my trades. I typically trade 3 lots, and then I scale in another 2 lot, and then essentially I trade with a 5 lot. And you'll also see my YouTube channel on my other trades that I typically take partials. But I saw something in this setup that gave me insight, and therefore I added a 8 lot and didn't take any partials until I got to my TP. And in my newsletter that I'm going to publish over the weekend, that's going to talk about this trade, I'm going to reveal how I knew we were going up here before the start of the day, okay? So all of that's going to be revealed in my newsletter that I'm going to be publishing on the weekend. And even if you just pay $47, it is well worth just this single lesson, right? Although you'll have access for the entire month, and I'll provide a newsletter every week. And to subscribe to the newsletter, the link is in the description of this video. You'll get to a page like this. It's called Trap and Shift. You put in your email address in the white box, and then you click on the black button that says get this week's trade, and you pay your $47, and you get 1 month of access. And it is going to be well worth your investment in yourself to learn about what I'm going to teach in the upcoming newsletter that's going to walk through this trade in detail. Well worth your investment. So even if you just pay $47 and get just this video that's coming up over the weekend, I encourage you to do so, because what I'm going to be revealing in this lesson that's talking about this specific trade in more detail are going to be secrets that are going to help you longer term. Okay, so do yourself a favor, go to the link to the website where you can subscribe to the newsletter, even if it's just to get the most upcoming lesson that's going to provide some real insights into how I made over $31,000 on this single trade on Friday, the 29th of May, 2026. Even what I've revealed to you just now in this lesson is enough, right? Combined with all the information that you find available in my YouTube channel. So I hope the information that I've revealed here in this video is going to be of benefit to you. Hope you found it insightful, and I look forward to talking with you in my next video.